Hey everyone, welcome to the Everyday Human Podcast. My name is Easton Taverna. Each day I'll share a reflection written by me and inspired by literature, poetry, music, movies, video games, and more. And after that, I'll share a prompt for you to write your own reflection. Together, we'll explore what it means to be human. Every month, we'll walk a new path, taking a look at life, death, the universe, and everything in between. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you're here. For more, visit eastontaverna.com or join me on Instagram at _everydayhuman. Hello, it's May 18th. I just got back in from bike riding with my daughter, without training wheels, for me and her. That's a joke. I know how to ride a bike without training wheels, but it was a big deal for her, and I'm super proud. It was awesome and a lot of fun. But right now I'm borrowing my brother-in-law's bike, so I'm eventually going to need to get one, I think, because she's gotten pretty good at it already, and I think it's going to become a regular thing we do, which I am very excited about. So today's reflection is titled, Tie Those Knots, and this one was inspired by a quote from the video game Unravel 2, or as my daughter likes to call it, Stringy and Yarny. This game came out in 2018, and I just beat it with my daughter, actually last year, right around this time, when I was writing the month on love. And I remember the quote I'll read to you in just a moment coming onto the screen at the end of the game. And I was just thinking, wow, that is a really good one, and one I wasn't really expecting at the end of this game. So it stuck in my head, and I had to include it in the book. So if you've been listening, you know we've had quite a few reflections inspired by video games so far. I've always been a fan of gaming, really ever since I was a kid. And it all started with the Sega Genesis. I don't have my original Genesis. That one broke, unfortunately. But I do have the Sega Genesis 3, which I got as a kid to replace the original. It took quite a beating. And it still works. I play it with my daughter quite a bit. We just beat the old Ren and Stimpy video game. We play Echo the Dolphin. We throw on some of the old Phantasy Star games. And she just likes to wander around the towns in the world in those. Anyhow, the previous games I've quoted have mostly been RPGs, that is, role-playing games, which is my favorite genre. And those are largely story-driven, so quoting them makes sense. But when I found this quote at the end of Unravel 2, a game with really sort of minimal story, or at least it's not upfront, and minimal dialogue as well, because it's a 2D platformer, focusing more on sort of the puzzles and the platforming and the experience. It was a nice surprise. So you can play it single or two-player, and as I said, it's a puzzle platformer, and you control these little yarn people called yarnies. These two characters are connected by a piece of yarn, and the default colors for them are red and blue. But you can change the colors as well to white, green, pink. It's cool. So the yarn coming off the red yarnie is red, of course, and it stays red until it reaches the midpoint to the blue yarnie and becomes blue to match that one. The two cannot be separated. So you have to work together to solve some really fun and intricate puzzles, launching each other, pulling each other up over cliffs or up trees, running back and forth, escaping wild turkeys, or trying to figure out your way through the intricacies of like a power plant, or figuring out how to make it to the other side of a pond without getting eaten by fish. And the environment is beautiful, too. There are these stunning nature levels in the forest and mountains, and underground where you see mycelium and this bioluminescent moss. And then to contrast those, there are these industrial settings in factories or barns and streets, which are a little bit more brutal in a way, and stark, but they're also very well done. So at the start, the Yarnies are shipwrecked in the beginning of the game. They find themselves in a lighthouse, which, I love. And this is the hub of the game, and it sends you to all the different levels. And the Yarnies then find themselves at a home, where these kids are looking to escape some kind of abusive adults. They don't really go too far into it, or at least they don't give you a lot of details. They sort of let you figure it out as the game goes. And this story is all happening in the background throughout. So you see little bits and pieces of it. And as you go, as the Yarnies, or Stringy and Yarny, you're following a magical spark. And as you beat the levels, the spark eventually climbs higher and higher to the top of the lighthouse, where it eventually ignites the lamp and sheds light over all of the land, defeating the shadows of evil and saving the kids, and the storm eventually passes. It's a really beautiful game. It's fun to play and a lovely work of art. And the music, I can't forget to mention the music. It's by Frida Johansson, and if you follow me on Instagram, I use her songs, especially from this game, in a lot of my posts, and it's just so good. I listen to it all the time, too, while I'm writing. But yeah, it's a great game, and I'm really glad I got to play it with my kiddo. Okay, so here is the quote. "Love forms bonds between us, but not to hold us back. They're meant to save us if we fall, or help us all climb higher. Yes, things break beyond repair sometimes, but we can always build anew. If our fire ever fades, it just takes a single spark to set it off again. No matter how dark things get, we can all help light the way. We can make this life beautiful for ourselves and for each other. And we all deserve to be here, whatever shape or color we come in." Fantastic quote, so relevant for this day and age, and always, in fact. Okay, here is my reflection. Think of someone you love right now, the first person who pops into your head, your partner, your kid, one of your parents, your best friend, whoever, doesn't matter. There is an invisible rope, let's say a piece of yarn, of your favorite color, tied from you to your person. Where it meets in the middle, connected to their piece of yarn, the color switches to their favorite color. There is something of each of you in it. You can only move so far apart from each other before the string tightens and you can go any further. Come on, give me some slack. Or, no, it's this way. As you each believe you've found the right path to take, or the correct solution to the puzzle. It might seem at first like this is a hindrance, that you're limited or held back by your obligations to each other. Or that if you have a desire to go one way in life, and your person has a desire to go the other, that you've reached an impasse. It's easy to feel this way. And it could be true, if you let it. But then you reach a wall that only your partner has the strength to climb. Or you come to a crevasse that only you have the skill to leap across. They climb the wall, turn with a smile, and pull you up after them. You make it across to the other side and tell them to jump, to trust that you'll pull your string, giving them the extra speed they need to get across. These strings, these bonds, do not hold you back. These bonds of love are sometimes the only thing you'll have to make it out of those inevitable times of hardship and darkness. Because you'll go through them, and your loved one, and me, and everyone else. Just don't forget to tug your string, asking for help when you need it. And don't forget to wait for that tug from someone else, and be ready to offer them your hand. Climb higher together, build anew, and love, love, love. There ends today's reflection. Now take out your journal, your napkin pile, or look out the window, or take a nice walk and consider the following reflection question. Have I been looking at my bonds all wrong, as though they were holding me back when really they're there to lift me up? So hold on to those bonds you have with those you love, and remember, they are there to save us if we fall and help us all climb higher. That's it for today, May 18th. I'll be back tomorrow, May 19th, with another reflection. Have a good one. Take care.